What's going on, everybody? And welcome to another episode of the Legion on Zoom. This is Chez, and I'm ergonomic as fuck right now. I got a new computer chair. I'm excited.
Oh, you do? Yeah, no, you've been texting me about it like throughout the week. I think a little bit about it. You've earned that fucking chair, man. Good
Fucking
job, man.
comfortable out in these streets.
I've been ergonomic since we started, and I am Miguel.
And I'm Rod. I need a new chair. My shit is squeaky. I do have the spine, like, you know, the butt pad and the back support though, because we're old. Well, some of us are old men on this podcast.
You have like a weird, like hybrid Frankenstein, Jerry rig situation.
Yeah, it's a very cheap chair with a nice cushion,
Exactly.
which makes for a mediocre sitting experience.
Nah, man.
And I'm living it up, man, because I was able, since we're working from home and shit, I was able to buy this on company dollar, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so I got my fucking real fucking office chair.
Sticking it to the man.
That's right.
Nice on some French shit. It has a cooler for your beer.
That's dope.
Fuck. Anyway, fans, there's some crazy news out there. In the news, good shit going on. First and foremost, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I encourage you. We always say it, and we always will say it. Get your shit together and go follow our fucking Instagram page, and and check out that hot, crazy compilation, the fucking Marvel scissor reel, that was recently posted on our page of a bunch of the upcoming shit. And there's some footage from the Black Widow movie, the Eternals. What else is in that shit? It was a mashup. They
had some more Shang-Chi there as well. But the biggest thing was the Eternals. They finally showed us the Eternals, and it looked beautiful. I'm excited. And it was like fucking a few seconds, pretty much.
Yeah, like it was just some dudes walking around. I mean, I guess it was beautiful.
I mean, did we get like a brief shot of like Angelina Jolie?
Yeah. With the sword, exactly. Like being a badass.
Facts. And I think we got some summer high. I have the feeling that in this movie there's gonna be like a lot of like sweeping panoramic shots of shit from what I saw, and I'm all in. I can't wait.
Exactly. And there is one scene that I've seen like on Instagram, como se dice, like they shared it again in slowed motion, because there's this one scene where they're all walking into like an arena and they're all kind of suited up, and then like the one, I forgot the name, Pixie or something like that, the one that's a speedster, like shows up running and and you can see the speed ability, but it's like you have to really slow it down and rewatch that little segment to capture that. And it's like, okay, all right, it looks exactly, it looks epic. Like, I don't know, for those little moments that we saw.
And then of course, like I had mentioned, there's also some footage from the Black Widow movie. That shit looks awesome. Yeah, I know it's gonna be awesome. I cannot freaking wait. I'm also just extremely curious to see what's going on with the failed Hellboy actor. I want to see what his character does. I don't know what his name is.
I forgot. Who is he?
Wait, damn, but he's failed as Hellboy, but he's epic in Stranger Things.
I prefer to remember him that he failed as Hellboy.
You remember him for his failures.
I believe his failure as Hellboy overshadowed his success as the guy from Stranger Things.
I haven't seen it, but is he the weak link, or is it like the production? Like, I point you to like Spirits of Vengeance, Ghost Rider. Nicolas Cage was epic, but the script sucked.
Damn, I don't know.
Which one is it with the Hellboy
I saw
guy?
it. I saw that movie, and I saw it like on a plane. Like, it's like those crappy movies are the movies I see like when I get their fucking
word.
And so the actor's named David Harbour. He was good. I liked him. He was a good Hellboy, actually. No Ron Perlman. It's hard to compare, right, to Ron Perlman, but it was mostly the script. It was just like the story was kind of pretty whack. The visual effects were cool, and he carried himself well as Hellboy, but like that's the thing. So I'm more on Rod's side.
It's kind of crazy how Marvel doesn't have like not one duck, like not one turd of a movie. Like, they're all watchable, all of them. And that's difficult, right? Because we see movies like, you know, the Fantastic Four with Josh Trank, this Hellboy movie. There's a lot of like little, you know, superhero movies that fell off the wayside because they were trash that I haven't even seen. And I used to be a completist. Like, if it was anything comic related, I want to see it.
I'm just worried that statistically speaking, because we see this every time with every movie, statistically speaking, they're going to have a crappy movie. You know, it's like
Eternals.
Oh no!
Damn, and like
Well,
that's
what
gonna
did
be, it'll be like the most epic, grandiose shit. Like, fuck.
It's an Oscar-nominated director doing the film and everything. Like it's like high production. Salma Hayek's in it. You know, fucking that comedian guy got buff for it and shit. And it's like, then nope, bombs. Damn.
Nah, I doubt it. I doubt it, man. Like, it's because like I don't know. They try to make the comics work. Is like they put the material first. Not that they go verbatim by canon, it so to speak, but it's kind of like unlike DC and the people of Warner Brothers, you can tell they're so like they don't give a fuck about the story. Even when they try to make money, is like they think they know how to make money when they don't know how to make money. If they paid attention to the fans, they'd be making money. They don't even know how to do that. It's a company full of like weird hubris. Where like at DC is where I mean, like at Disney and Marvel is like they get it.
Actually, so speaking of that, now let's move on to a news point about fucking DC, right? Because speaking of that, I've seen this argument be brought up right now a lot, right? Because we've mentioned this before, right? That WB has said that they're going to do a Black Superman film, right? We mentioned it before. Ta-Nehisi Coates is going to be writing it, you know, amazing novelist, comic book writer, pro as well. But they apparently recently confirmed a few days ago on Henry Cavill's birthday, no less, that the Black Superman, because we were all immediately thinking, oh, it's the Tom Taylor creation, right? A character, what was his name? Calvin something from like the Earth multiverse or the President Superman something, right? Because there are Black Supermen, but nope. They confirmed that it's going to be Kal-El, good old Clark Kent, probably with another human name, I don't know, that he's just going to be black. That's what they're doing.
That's so stupid.
Like, who are they gonna cast? Like, I know where everybody's saying Michael B. Jordan, whatever, but I somehow feel like they might not go that direction and get more of an unknown, like a Henry Cavill was, sort of. But damn, like, who is that gonna be? Who's gonna be that guy to take that role and just take it into a whole new direction for the first time?
Tyrese.
Ooh.
He was tied to, no, he wasn't tied to Green Lantern. I'm thinking about Common.
He tried to be. he tried to be. But okay. But there's one thing I do want to mention, and I do want Miguel to talk about it because he brought it up on our thread, and I believe he should put it out into the universe that this is one thing that should be done about the Black Superman. Go ahead, Miguel. Enlighten us, please. The world needs to know.
Well, there was a few things we mentioned. I think try to remember because I think one of the biggest arguments I think we want to get everybody's thoughts on is that, right? Because obviously, first of all, out there in the world, people hate it when they, you know, racistly, you know, because they're racist. They hate when they do the race bending of a character, right? And like Disney's done that, you know. I think with the Little Mermaid, you know, Ariel's supposed to be a black woman now and a black mermaid, and people hate it, right? And also like Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four film, right? He was Michael B. Jordan. People hate that shit.
Starfire on Titans, there's some hate.
Right.
Damn, yo, this is straight up hate.
Haters
on race. Fuck,
bro, haters are the offspring of like the Nazi party or something.
No, of course. 100%.
Like, why do you sit in your house and hate on things that are awesome?
Anyway,
go ahead, Miguel. Go ahead.
No, but that's true, exactly. And generally, right? Obviously, we're against that. Like, who gives a fuck, right? Unless it's a good story, run with it, right? This situation is the only one where I can see people are arguing and feeling upset about because it's not like there's no Black Superman. There's been Black Supermen created. We just mentioned a few, right? That you can just run with that rather than warp, you know, change an iconic character, right? It's like, for example, like they're saying like Marvel Comics didn't do that, right? Marvel Comics didn't all of a sudden go say like, we're just going to make Peter Parker black, right? Like, no, they had like, look, we have Miles Morales, right? This biracial character who's black and Latino. Let's run with him. And that's awesome, right? Because that's the beauty of comics, right? To have all these new characters that you can do. And for somebody like when there's already plenty of Black Supermen, like, I don't know, but I trust Ta-Nehisi Coates, so we'll see how that goes. Obviously, because it's written also obviously by a very prolific Black writer, I'm like, all right, I'd be willing to trust it. But something we were mentioning in the chat right before is like, right, we've had our black superheroes before, like fucking Steel, right? Is that
Yes.
Yes, exactly, right? You guys
Yeah.
remember that fucking
And you had an amazing idea now for the fans out there, and we're definitely just gonna try and throw up an image. Hopefully, we could find something that's not too low quality because the movie's old as fuck. That won't hurt your eyes.
Steel.
Yeah, but it's basically Shaq as John Henry Irons, who is kind of like a black, low budget Tony Stark. But it's crazy because he makes it work, which says a lot if you think about it. Like, he makes an entire Superman suit with way less funding.
Yeah.
Like,
except he comes from blue collar, right?
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
But he's a technical genius, and of course he's named after the black American folklore hero John Henry. But Miguel had this great idea that they could develop a very gritty inner city show based on John Henry Iron Steel, who is a parallel of Superman because he was inspired by his death. And it could be like a rated R. Dude, that shit blew my mind. That's an amazing idea.
Exactly, because like, if for those of you out there, right, Steel, right, we're talking about the Shaq movie from back in the day, right? Like, even if some of you probably might be too young to even remember this shit, but because Steel comes from the comic books, right, from the classic story, The Reign of the Superman, right, after Superman's death at the hands of Doomsday, right, well, quote unquote death, right, and that's, you know, where he takes on the mantle, Superman makes his own suit and becomes his own character, and still exists in the DC universe right now. Like, he's a character there. I don't think he has his own book, but you see him around, right?
And so underused in my opinion.
And his daughter also takes on the mantle of Steel.
Such an underused pair of characters.
So see, there's like his family there, and so we were thinking, like, how dope would it be? Like, Warner Brothers, what you should just fucking do is within the Snyder fucking verse, right? Like, when Superman dies at the end of BVS, have that story take place, right? That this character is inspired by Superman, sees his death, and then becomes fucking Steel. And it's this fucking gritty, The Wire type show for HBO Max with Steel, you know, Shaq or somebody else.
Damn, they can bring Shaq back.
Yo.
Like, I'm not really affected that much by the decision because I feel like the whole multiverse thing lets them do anything. Like, they could have an Asian Superman, which they do in the comic books. They could pretty much do anything. And I mean, apparently Henry Cavill is out and maybe even being courted by Marvel, right? But you know, if they wanted to, in like a Flashpoint Crisis movie, Henry Cavill could come back and meet this new Clark Kent, right? And it'll just be like another multiverse story. Like, I don't think we'll still have, like, you know, the white version of Superman, and we'll get, like, you know, another black version of Superman. But I don't think the multiverse just mixes it all up. We have a black Lex Luthor on Superman and Lois, right? We have. I mean, they've been like turning these characters like slowly but surely. Oh, Jimmy Olsen on Supergirl. But yeah,
I'm in Mortal Kombat Jax. Yeah.
It would have been cooler. I mean, I'm still hoping that this Superman is tied to the Flash movie and the, you know, the multiverse bending that's going to occur in that movie, you know, allegedly, who knows.
Apparently they confirmed that this movie, it's going to be its own thing. It's going to be separate. It's not going to be part of the universe that they're building with Flash and the remaining Snyderverse characters, right? Which is going to be Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and Ezra Miller obviously as Flash. Because apparently too, they're making a Joker sequel from the Todd Phillips Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, and apparently that's a separate thing. And so it's like, it'd be dope if Flashpoint kind of shows you like, all right, it's a multiverse, right? But they're going to be separate kind of things. But I just wanted to comment, Rod, I am very shocked, actually, and surprised and a little bit impressed, I guess, because I would imagine you'd be the most upset one of us because you love Snyder, you love Henry Cavill, like he's your Superman, and for you to hear that there's no plans at all to make another Superman movie with him, at least in the foreseeable future, that you're like, it's okay. Like,
well, he finished his trilogy, right? So at the very least, Henry Cavill, he must feel good about that. He did his Superman epic. He died. He returned. Everything.
All right. Okay.
So we went through his whole arc.
Rod got closure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you want to revisit that, please go back to our Snyder
and
Cut
also
special.
and also just to make you sound like a martyr, Rod, Rod is willing to put his disappointment aside for the sake of street equality on a racial level across the board.
But
Right.
I mean, I'm all for this
Rod.
Michael B. Jordan thing, though.
Apparently, in a recent interview, Michael B. Jordan straight up said no. He said,
Yeah,
Damn.
said for
Yeah.
this, I'm gonna be watching it. He's like, I'm not participating. So it's like, all right, Michael B. Jordan,
Which is a wise choice on his part. Like, I can see where he's coming from. Like, I get it. Fair enough.
yeah.
I
He's been
respect
in
that.
that realm before with Johnny
Yeah,
Storm. He's like, all right, let
exactly.
another actor, make
Right.
this huge transition.
And speaking about like, right, because we've heard that. So apparently, right now, there's rumors that Marvel might be courting Henry Cavill, and we're like all fucking for it, right? Some of the strongest rumor has been that they might want to cast him as Hercules, especially for the Thor Love and Thunder film. But I've heard other rumors as well of actually casting him as either Captain Britain or casting him as Wonder Man. I'm like
Captain Britain for sure, all in.
I'll start a rumor. I'll start a rumor. Henry Cavill for Hyperion.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Or the Sentry.
Wait, and is Hyperion Hyperion is the one that came from an alternate Earth where they had a Justice League-esque team, right? That'd be dope.
The Squadron Supreme.
Yeah, Squadron Supreme. Yeah, and he's powerful as fuck.
He's Superman, basically. A blonde Superman in a way, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, word. Yeah.
I would prefer Henry Cavill's Hyperion than Sentry. I'm not a big fan of the Sentry character. Hyperion, I think, would be a fun way, because then imagine
that's true.
if Marvel in the MCU start to do what they've done in the comics, right, where they have these characters that are obvious ripoffs of the Justice League.
Word.
Imagine seeing them in the movies, right? Because there's a whole Squadron Supreme that has a speedster, that has a Wonder Woman type character, that has a Batman type character. There's Darkwing and the freaking Hyperion. Like, imagine that.
You just brought up a good question.
Wait, is Darkwing from the
Darkwing
Invincible, right?
No, yeah. I think it'd be like Darkhawk or Nighthawk or some shit like that.
The Midnighter? No.
That's the Authority. Midnighter's DC, yeah. No. All right. I'll check. Talk amongst yourselves. We'll check.
I think it's Nighthawk. I think it's Nighthawk or some shit.
You might be right, I think.
But so I have a question then. Who do you think? Because I don't think they've
Nighthawk. You're right. Nighthawk.
Yeah. Who do you think is gonna be the first company between the two Titans to bring out their first like anti-teams? Have we had that yet? Like, there's no anti-Avengers that's been out yet, like, or like anti-Justice League.
Does the Suicide Squad count or not?
No.
Tasked with
they're just another
type
team.
of government.
I'm talking about like the Injustice League with like your Ultraman and shit, or where you have like your anti-Avengers. You know what I mean? Like,
what anti-Avengers? I don't know what we're talking about.
The Dark Avengers, right?
Yeah. No. So, for example, it would kind of be like, would Disney do a live-action version of the Squadron Supreme against the Avengers, or would like the people at Warner Brothers do like the what's it called, like the Injustice Gang, or like the Crime Syndicate against the JLA? Yeah, like who do you think would do a live-action like yin and yang scenario first?
I'd say Marvel, because just they're deeper in, because DC's like hitting that reset button like over and over. They'll never get to like these epic, confrontations.
So we're most likely to get the Squadron Supreme before we get the Crime Syndicate.
I would love that.
I'm down for that. But speaking of multiverse and all the crazy shit that Marvel's giving us, right? We've been fucking fantasizing about the Spider-Man, what's it called? No Way Home film, right? About like fucking, right? Finally, Alfred Molina confirmed that he's Doc Ock and he's fucking in the movie, right? And obviously, the most exciting part has been that the biggest rumor, right? That Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire are coming back as Spider-Man, right? Apparently, in a recent interview, I don't remember for what magazine, Variety or something like that, Andrew Garfield was interviewed and he straight up said no. He's like, look, I've been hearing all these rumors. He's like, it's weird because I'm like, I can't say like, you know, I'm like, I want to tell you, like, I'm not in it, and people don't believe me. And he's like, look, I never got a call to be in it. I don't know if you guys have seen the video. We shared it. Oh, another reason you guys have to follow us on Legion on Zoom on Instagram.
Word.
We shared the story. I think IGN had the video. And that's his quote unquote confirmation that he's not in the No Way Home movie. What do you guys think? Did you guys see him talking, or what do you think?
I don't need to see it. I want to go ahead and I want to go ahead and just say, shut up, Andrew Garfield. We know you're in the movie.
Yep.
Shut
That's
up.
right. He may not be in it yet, but I feel like No Way Home is just gonna like crack the surface of the Spider-Verse. I don't think it's gonna go full Spider-Verse in this movie.
Oh, word.
No,
Maybe like toward the end or whatever, and then you know they're gonna build up to an epic Spider-Verse trilogy over at Sony because that's gonna be it's gonna be their film. So again, my treatment in into the LoZ verse.
I think that's the most referenced treatment we have.
which is impressive. It speaks a lot for our general volume of work when we can reference ourselves now. That's big.
Yeah, I got wild theories on many things.
Facts.
Spider-Verse is one of them.
And I agree. I saw the video, right? And I honestly saw him a little bit struggling. I felt he was acting, right? And you know, he's a good actor. He's not one of the best, right? So it's like I'm thinking, nah, bro, you're lying. Like, I don't know, because he was kind of giggling too. Like, so I felt like, you know, I think kind of like when we've seen Tom Holland, then when he fucks up and then spoils shit, you're right, and then Marvel's gone on his ass about it. I feel like Andrew Garfield felt like that because also technically he never literally said that he's not in it. He just said stuff like, well, they didn't call me, and it's crazy to see all these things. The closest thing is that Marvel didn't call me. That's what he's saying. But it's like, that could be fucking...
You know that scene in the Snyder Cut, like right when Steppenwolf is gonna like bury his axe into Cyborg, who's trying to control the mother boxes, and then Superman just pops up and he's just there pristine. I think we're gonna get this type of Andrew Garfield introduction into the Spider-Verse. Like no one's gonna expect him. He's just gonna come in and save the day on some wild shit. So he's just, you know, giving us like a wild goose chase right now.
And his fucking pompadours are gonna be crazy.
It's gonna evolve.
just wild volume.
Yeah, who has a fax machine? Yo, who's living in 1995 right now?
Oh, that sound, I haven't heard that sound in forever, man. It's like
that's me. I'm getting a fax
from fucking Kevin Feige telling you to shut the fuck up. Stop with your rumors.
That's my fax machine.
Damn, bro.
Yo, you probably grabbed that using the Zoom tube. You went to the past and grabbed a fax machine. Probably some of our listeners don't even know what a fax machine is.
Word, yo.
What is this?
Oh, God.
That's how I see my Instagram on a fax machine.
To them, fax is just when somebody's speaking the truth, like facts. That's the way I use it now, anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, man. I teared up a little bit on that one. But we also got let's move on to some DC news. We've been Marvel heavy so far. So we did get some casting news for the new Green Lantern Corps series coming out. I mean, we don't even know when this is coming out, right? Maybe Fandom will give us some shit. They're going to give us some shit at Fandom.
Of course.
So yeah, the guy's name, I don't know, it's a wickedly handsome guy.
Finn Wittrock.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is, but I saw him like on Nightwing fan castings. And I'm like, yo, that guy would look cool as a Nightwing.
I do know who that is. He has been on American Horror Story, which circus season or some shit like that. Festival? No, not festival. American Horror Story. The season is about the circus. And he plays a raving psychopath rich kid named Dandy or some shit like that. His acting is really fucking intense. But yeah, he's been on American Horror Story. Freak Show, that's the name of the season. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's a really good actor. And especially for someone who's gonna require as much expression as Guy Gardner, you see it in the Dandy role.
That's your boy.
Yeah, Guy Gardner's the shit. And he's also, aside from Kyle Rayner, he's my favorite Green Lantern aesthetically speaking, because I want to see that leather vest in live action.
He's not gonna rock that.
I'm gonna need
You
a
think
collar,
he's gonna rock it?
at least an iteration. They'll at least give him like a sleeveless green, kind of like the Winter Soldier has that leather shit.
Yeah.
No, and
that'd be dope.
And I think so, because if I remember correctly, again, we might have talked about this in a previous episode when they announced the show. I think it's supposed to be set across different eras, and so I think Guy Gardner is supposed to be the 80s Green Lantern. Boom. So all the more reason to wear that exaggerated fucking costume he has.
Yeah, like before he becomes Guy Gardner, he's just like a bowling alley douchebag or something.
Yeah, and then boom, when he becomes Guy Gardner, he gets the big fucking green leather vest with the white leather belt and the gloves.
We'll see.
I'm down. I'm all in. I can't fucking wait. And he's one of the more intense lanterns to the point. Quick comic book deep cut in what is it? When they revived Hal Jordan, was the name of that miniseries?
Rebirth.
That bring
started everything.
Yeah, which bring Jeff Johns to fame.
Oh my god, yes. Fuck. His run.
If I'm not mistaken, in that panel, they describe it that. So supposedly by canon, a Green Lantern ring doesn't make like any noise or anything like that, and like it's supposed to be more or less, kind of like a static thing unless it's being used. Guy Gardner's ring is like sparking with energy at all times, just to show like a peek into his psyche, and he's known as like the Fist of the Guardians, i.e., he's the asshole of Oa.
Damn, the asshole of Oa. I'm with it.
So,
yo, I'm with that. Yeah.
So I can't fucking wait, and he can pull it off.
And he was once a Red Lantern. Deep cut for the Green Lantern geeks.
Word.
I know for everybody out there, we highly recommend to get into the Green Lantern lore. Honestly, for me, my jumping spot place was that like the Green Lantern Rebirth by Jeff Johns, right?
The ultimate starting point. Go ahead.
Ultimate starting point, exactly. And then after that, do not stop. Like just keep reading. Word. And honestly, I don't know, probably keep reading until Jeff John ends his run which is the first arc in the New 52. So that's a lot.
Yeah, the first Lantern arc. Yeah, that's his last one.
Exactly. A lot of comics.
And so, because obviously we have a lot of Green Lanterns in the DC universe, because it's the Green Lantern Corps, right? Protectors, like basically space cops, right? And then in Earth we have several ones. For whatever reason we've needed now a lot. Hal Jordan Hal Jordan is like being the first one. Alan Scott's not part of that, and Hal Jordan is the first one. Then. Was it Guy Gardner the second one, or was it John Stewart the second one?
No. It was Guy Gardner, and then I believe John Stewart, then Kyle Rayner, right, or some shit like that.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll deep dive later.
Yeah, as a reminder to the fans, we'll defer to all Green Lantern facts to Ches because he has a Green Lantern tattoo, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And then Jeff Johns introduced in the New 52 Simon Boz. And then
another
in his Justice League run, he introduced Jessica Cruz, right?
Yes,
there you go. Who was in the DC animated movie, The Return of the Fatal Five, I think it's called. Really cool movie. Check it out. It's about her and Starboy primarily. Really cool.
Yeah. Really and then after that is we're still getting lost in like the lanterns themselves, which is kind of crazy. And I think we have so many Green Lanterns from Earth, just quick speculation, because as per the lore, like humans were seen as kind of like a shitty, stupid species by all the lanterns on Oa. Because like in Sector 2814, which is like as per like the core, that's like our sector and shit, is like we're supposed to be like the babies of like all the civilization. So no one ever expected that there would be a lantern from Earth.
Get a little bit more nerdy and geeky, right? Because this is the show for this. Technically, though, another reason could be also though that because before the big event that we talked about now in the first episode, I think, of this season, which is a Dark Knight's death metal, Earth apparently was the center of all the fucking universe.
Yeah.
And so because even in the Blackest Night, I think, storyline, that was one of the biggest things that's why the god, what was the Necron, right? The god,
Necron
was gravitating to Earth and all that kind of shit, because it's like for whatever reason Earth is like this source of all this fucking shit. So maybe that's also why
Earth that's why go ahead. That's why Dr. Manhattan intervenes, right? Because this Earth on the DC universe is like everything, the central point to everything.
They should just do an arc where like, why is Earth the center of all this fucking shit?
That's where all the writers are.
That's so egotistical.
but that's no longer the case. Now, after the Dark Knight's Death Metal event, where the whole multiverse got fucking rewritten, recreated, and now that's the Omniverse, Earth is no longer the center of the universe. There's another Earth called Earth Prime. That's the center of the universe, of the fucking, like, it's fucking complicated shit.
Which one is Earth Prime?
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be a Justice League book because now we're gonna connect, but like Flash is no longer the Flash of Earth anymore. Now it's gonna be Wally West, because now Barry Allen Flash is joining this new Justice League team. I forgot the name of that team. That supposedly they're gonna be venturing the multiverse, and they're going to go to Earth Prime to check it out and stuff like that. Because apparently there's this also, like, Apocalypse has its own almost like universe, and Darkseid. It's complicated as fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Sounds cool.
Which it kind of sounds like they maintain the status quo over at DC. Like,
sort of. Yeah. And also, and with that, I think that connects nicely to, this is why you got to read fucking comic books. This is why you don't just wait for the movies, the shows, and all that to come out. Exactly. But you just check out right now. The books are coming out, as we mentioned before, right? We were talking about, like, the books are coming out weekly. We said every week, every Wednesday, most books come out. DC comes out to books on Tuesday, and we're buying some books weekly as they come out, right? That's just to keep up. Right, for you, the fans, so we can be on top of shit, right? And some of the books that we're excited about is actually, Ches, you're looking forward to. You told us, right? You got what? Suicide Squad #3.
Yeah, I actually was capitalist as fuck right before we started recording, and I stimulated the economy, and I dropped a couple of bucks on Comixology, and I actually bought Suicide Squad 3, The Joker #2, I believe. Issue #3, I think. And I also bought from our last episode that you put me on, and I said it while we were recording, The Way of X.
Yes, exactly.
The one about Nightcrawler. So I'm gonna get into all that shit tonight. But yeah, so far I fucking love the Suicide Squad book. Is nice to start from the beginning with, like, your own squad, knowing there's been so many variations. You kind of start to get, like, a bit of ownership on your own for the team. Like, hey, like, I have, like, my own run that I'm reading of the Suicide Squad. And it's also cool because you kind of get a taste of some of what we might get from James Gunn with Peacemaker, because the guy's a fucking psychopath.
Ooh. And what do you think? You recommend the book for us? I think one of the big things is for that new book, right, is that they're highlighting Connor Kent, right?
Oh, yeah. He, damn. No. Like, I was gonna go into it, but I'll wait, because I don't like spoiling it. And there's other books, but just definitely go check it out. However, there is a question I want to pose to you guys, and I'll say it now real quick, and then we'll discuss it towards the end of the show. Who would you rather have in your government, Amanda Waller or Cecil from Invincible? Because they're very similar characters. It occurred to me the other day. I forgot what I was doing, but it randomly occurred to my head. Like,
Cecil.
Those.
Because...
Damn, okay, wait, let's get it.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on. All right, but now let that marinate and go ahead and go. There's other books out there.
We're not gonna get into it right now. We'll do it later. Okay.
Okay.
When we review Invincible, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because obviously, if you're listening right now, at the end, we're gonna go deep into the Invincible finale. So that's where we're gonna get into this too. Good point to bring it up. Exactly, but the point is, read the books that are coming out weekly, monthly. For the runs that you want to follow. Right, Ches recommends Suicide Squad. It's #3 right now that came out. It's by Robbie Thompson and Eduardo Pansica. It's a great, you don't need too much to catch up, and then you can just read it. Other books that we're recommending, that these are the ones that I bought. Obviously, I love X-Men, and so they have Hellions #1 by Seb Wells and Steven Segovia. This is one of my fucking favorite fucking books of the new X-Men lore. surprisingly how much I'm loving it. So just quickly, it's almost like a Suicide Squad type of book-ish. So this book is about a team that is led by Mr. Sinister, which is that in and of itself, I'm like, all right, I'm sold. I'm gonna read this, and it's a bunch of villains, right? Because obviously everybody's now good, quote unquote, living in Krakoa peacefully. They got amnesty.
Even Apocalypse, which is like, oh shit.
Exactly. Even Mr. Sinister, right? He has his own team, and Mr. Sinister's part of the government too. Okay,
his name. He's up to no good. Like shit. Who's that? That's Mr. Sinister.
Senator Sinister.
He's like an elementary school teacher.
Like nobody's gonna be surprised when he fucks things up, right? It's like, of course, his name is Mr. Sinister, right? Nathaniel Essex, for those out there. Right, and it's a ragtag team of like random villains that I didn't even know about, but that I'm loving. Like there's one that's called Nanny, who's like an egg, and it's wonderful character, and she's the nanny of a character called Orphan Maker, which is a fucked up character, and is wonderful.
What?
Yeah, and then for those of you out there who kind of know X-Men in passing, some of the famous ones, though, is Psylocke is running the team, basically. Like, so Mr. Sinister's the main guy, but Psylocke's the leader of the team. And another person in the team is Havoc, Alex Summers, so Cyclops' brother. And so it's a wonderfully wacky fucking book. It's like gruesome but funny. I highly recommend it. It's literally one of my I think my top 3 favorite X-Men books right now that I'll get. The other favorite X-Men book is Marauders. So Marauders number 20 came out by Jerry Dugan, who's going to be writing the X-Men book in July, which we got into deep the last episode, I think it was, or 2 episodes ago, with the X-Men election, with art by Stefano Caselli. And it's a good book about basically the Hellfire Club in this new world, and it's about like them moving basically the medications that they have through the proper markets and also through the black market, and it's also about saving mutants who are not letting them escape their countries to join Krakoa. And it's interesting, and it has Storm, Bishop, Pyro, Iceman. Kate Pride is the main character in the book. Shadowcat, Sebastian Shaw's in it. It's a very, very cool book. So that's the other one that we highly recommend from the X-Men books. And the last one that we just had to buy, because we've talked about this before. You've heard in one of our episodes with Dayspring from the Power of X-Men podcast, which is what episode? What was that one called? I don't even remember now.
I don't know, but I think in order
POX, our when he was on our podcast,
exactly. When we reviewed the Enter the Phoenix event from the Avengers story written by Jason Aaron, one of the great fucking writers out there. He just started his new take in the Avengers books, which was called Heroes Reborn, which those of you who are of our age may remember the original Heroes Reborn from back in the day, which we won't get into, which it's a mess.
A whole other rabbit hole.
It's a whole other rabbit hole. Honestly, if you haven't read Avengers up until right now at all, you're a little bit curious about it, I would recommend start with this book, actually Heroes Reborn #1. You don't really need much of a backstory. I'm actually very, very surprised how much I liked it. I didn't think it was going to be a good book, though it's supposed to be about this kind of almost Elseworld kind of thing. Something happened and the Avengers never became the Avengers. And the only person that knows this is Blade. Blade is the only one that remembers it.
That's unexpected.
Because he's an Avenger in this in Jason Aaron's book, which is actually pretty cool. And he's trying to connect to the Avengers. Like Thor never became really Thor. He's just like a drunk dude somewhere. Captain America was never found. Tony Stark kept selling guns and was and weapons and was an alcoholic and connecting it to what we were mentioning earlier before for Henry Cavill. So hopefully they could do this. The main team is the Squadron Supreme, which is this Justice League ripoff, basically, and they're fighting people like Dr. Doom, who has the gem of Sidorak, who's the Juggernaut, basically. So it's Dr. Juggernaut.
So Dr. Doom has the gem of Sidorak, and Get the fuck
Wait,
out of here.
what event set off this Heroes Reborn?
So that's why I'm telling you, you don't need to read anything. You don't know. Like, I literally was buying the Avengers book as they were coming out, and then this just happens.
Okay, it's a mystery. All right.
So you have no. All you know is Blade is the only one that remembers the world as it was before, and
Sounds
that's
cool.
it. And Phil Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and classic MCU character is the president in this world. So we think it has to do with him. And exactly, and it's this warp world. And also it's like Thanos is there actually too. But instead of the Infinity Gems, it's Infinity Rings. it's like silly, but it's cool. And
It sounds cool as hell.
That word, that shit sounds fucking
Yeah,
wild.
it does.
And it's totally isolated. Like, it's not connecting to anything that's going on. It's just like, it's a number one. You open it, only Blade knows shit.
Yeah.
Or is it what's going on? Is this what's going on in the proper Marvel timeline? Is this the news like status quo?
So apparently, so that's the thing. Yeah. So there will be a lot of, if you been reading Marvel for a while, they've done stuff like this before, like with the Age of Apocalypse, House of M, mostly from the X-Men books, where the reality is warped, and then they have spin-off books. And so they will have spin-off books about other like what are the X-Men doing in this reality, right? And what are the other heroes doing in this? Spider-Man, apparently there's a book where Peter Parker's just a photographer. It's just like, okay. We'll see what happens. But exactly, but if you've been reading the Avengers run, they've been kind of, because Phil Coulson has been working somehow with Mephisto, the character we talked about with WandaVision a lot that never came to be. So we're thinking it has to do with that, but you don't really know. But actually, and you don't need, I'm sure they'll explain it, because that's what's the cool thing about the book. It just started like that, and it's actually cool, entertaining. Also, there's this Scarlet Silver Witch, I think her name is. So it's the Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff. Apparently, when her brother died in this universe, she gained his powers, and so she's a speedster throwing hexes super fast.
No.
Yo, it's kind of like amalgam. Remember?
Yeah.
When like that became like the new thing with Dark Claw and fucking Speed Demon, all those characters.
Which
throwback.
To this day, I actually own a few issues of Amalgam or Amalgam, however the fuck you say it. I own an issue of, I believe it's Amazon, Super Soldier. I gotta check the other ones that I got.
Spider-Boy.
Yeah, I do own a Spider-Boy. Yeah.
And you know what? You can't get these digitally because like the licensing is all tied up. So maybe there is a market for these amalgam comics.
Facts.
We need to return to this. This should be the next event.
Yes,
facts. That'd be so lit. They should remake these shits into series. Anyway.
Now Disney has to buy DC.
Damn.
I think it'd be better
Supreme Court would step in, for the sake of art. Like,
no, that's a definition of monopoly. Like, no, it's like that's gonna be illegal. That's not gonna allow.
Then the only competition would be Valiant.
Well, Image, which we're gonna go in. We're gonna
Amazon
dive in right
now. Let's do it.
But quick shout out to, I'm not reading anything weekly, but I am reading our comic book club. First pick.
LoZ Comic Book Club,
which is Gotham Central by Ed Brubaker,
Greg Rucka.
Yeah, a lot of cool creative team. So that one's really good. So I'm looking forward to diving into that. And I didn't know, I kind of knew, but didn't really know that Renee Montoya is the central character, at least for the first arc or so.
Yeah, that's what it seems like so far.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll dive into that.
I definitely can't wait to talk about that. It's really good so far. Facts. So, spoiler alert here.
Spoiler alert.
And holy fucking shit. This shit blew my mind. And just a quick side note. So, is the dude called the Immortal because you can like revive him no matter how he's killed, or you know what I mean? Like, I've been wondering about that for a while.
And so this is going to be a little bit tricky, right? Because we've talked about this. We've mentioned Invincible a few times, but we haven't gone into it. So we're going to go fucking balls deep as usual. Into the finale. And this is the spoiler alert that you just heard is going to be for the finale. right? We're gonna be careful to not provide any spoilers to the story proper, right? Because the book ended already a while ago, right? This is an old story, and so your question about Immortal, I have information. I don't know, but the point is, Immortal's just immortal, right? So it's like that's his name, right? So it's like I don't know.
Miguel's above us right now. He has information. I want to know, but I don't want to know because I love the show so much. Same with The Walking Dead. I knew it was a prolific comic book, but I'm like, I want to consume this story in this much more like easily digestible form, like in a TV show. Same with Invincible. I did start the graphic novel, but that's when I used to try to read every Marvel book, like on the stand. So that one got cut out. But the series has been a godsend. And a few episodes back, I posed the question to you guys: is Falcon and the Winter Soldier better than Invincible? And come on. Did. And now that you've seen both in their entirety, are y'all with me now or no?
I stand behind the Black Captain America.
Really?
Fuck you.
Damn.
You don't support America. You hate America.
Bro,
Invincible. Anyway,
I'm sorry, Ches. No, but I'm with exactly now that both series have ended. Even if it's fucking animated, obviously they have more, como se dice, liberty, right? Because it's all fucking animated, right? We're gonna discuss some epic fucking things they did in the live finale. They wouldn't. It'd be really hard to do, especially in a TV format. But nah, man, Invincible was better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier by a little bit. I would say.
Oh no.
I even like to go by a certain principle. I don't even like to compare animated to live action because it's not fair.
Okay.
For example, like
that's an easy way not to admit the truth.
Fuck yeah, politician all day. But anyway,
watch when before they drop season 2, we're gonna rewatch season 1.
Yeah, but
it's so easily like it's just you could just binge them. They're so good.
But again, it's not fair because it's like there's certain things that you can't recreate in live action, like the train scene. Like you can't make that shit up. Like the closest thing we've gotten to the train scene is with A-Train in The Boys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you can't make. However, I don't know if you noticed this, Rod, but when Omni-Man killed the agents in the house, he did something that we used to talk about all the time. Like, he stood through him. Like, did you notice?
Yeah,
like one of the agents, he stood through him. Like he killed him by being where he was.
I'm actually glad you brought up that scene because I don't think it's like the level of gore that makes Invincible great. Because I don't think that, for example, The Boys had a similar scene with a Homelander, but we didn't see exactly what went down in that cabin. Remember, I think they take his kid. They're supposed to be watching him. I don't remember exactly what went down, but he massacres everybody in that room. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
And whereas in this case, we saw it. But again, I don't think that, Invincible has a leverage on Falcon and the Winter Soldier because it's animated, because there's so many animated shows. And usually the live action is better. They show less violence. They can show less violence, but still, I don't think it's that. Look at The Walking Dead, for example. Like that was extremely gory, and it pushed the envelope a lot too, right? But they didn't have to, ram a guy's head through a train. They could, but anyway.
No, Rod, bravo! I love that art because Chess kind of convinced me at that point. But you're right, exactly because you're right. We got The Voice, right, and we had Walking Dead before, which was pretty gory, but The Voice was very fucking gory. And you're right, exactly. Like it's not necessarily the gore, maybe the como se dice, the epicness, the vastness, right? Because we're seeing in Invincible, especially in this one, right? The fucking buildings getting destroyed, a lot of people gorishly getting killed, which The Voice didn't show us that because obviously that takes a lot of money, CGI, and all the kinds of things. So maybe that's a little, but that's a minor leverage, no, not because obviously even exactly you're talking. The Voice had a lot of gore. It's a great show. We loved it, but I actually think Invincible might be a little bit better than The Voice, at least so far right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Nah, yeah.
Hard to say it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, man.
Fuck, nah, you
Invincible is where it's at right now.
Man.
It's
That's some
better
honeymoon motherfuckers, yo.
I think it's better than any other superhero. I mean, we're getting a whole book. I just started Jupiter's Legacy before we started recording.
Yeah, me
Oh.
too. Me too.
I haven't.
It's just like so many
Ah.
superhero shows, and Invincible is a standout. So if you're like bombarded right now, like, okay, what should I watch? Okay, I know there's a million shows, and watch Invincible.
But just real quick on a side note, quick shout out to Josh Duhamel. Haven't seen that dude since Transformers.
Oh yeah,
He's
Good
playing
word.
he's playing Utopian on
I love that
Jupiter's
name,
Legacy.
the Utopian.
Yo, but so
Okay.
so pausing for a second,
Yeah.
slowing down for the fans out there. We're talking about Invincible, right? So Invincible is a show on Amazon Prime. You better be fucking watching it right now, right? Which is the classic book from Untitled for Robert Kirkman, right? We've mentioned this before. Fucking kid has powers. Basically, he's Superman's son. Basically, that's the idea, right? We finally find out in the finale who Omni-Man's not who he's supposed to be, right? Who he's saying he's going to be.
Dude, Jesus.
So let's get into that. Let's get into the finale when finally because at least in the penultimate episode, right?
Yeah.
His mom finds out, right, that Omni-Man killed the Guardians of the Globe, which is another Justice League ripoff, right? Which has been the theme of today's episode, just the ripoffs of the characters of the Justice League. And she finds out, right? Cecil, obviously fucking epic Cecil, knew about all this stuff already, was monitoring this heavily. And so, but now Mark Grayson, Invincible, finds out, and he finds out right after he fucking kills, quote unquote, Immortal, right? Again for the second time. What do you guys think?
Dude, that speech when Omni-Man described what the Viltrumites did to themselves, that shit made, like, I pulled the blanket over myself. I needed protection. That shit, like, I felt some type of way, like, fuck. Like, yeah, the whole species slaughtered themselves until half was gone and only the strongest were left. Shit.
Bro, what does that remind you of? Like a childhood favorite.
Everyday life.
Bro, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Z, facts.
Yo, isn't it
The
crazy
Saiyans.
how Dragon Ball Z came from the Superman story, right? Goku, he comes from this other planet.
Yeah. That
whatever,
got
blah,
destroyed.
blah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, shit,
And
word.
now
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like Invincible is like the child of Dragon Ball Z for me. That's the way I'm enjoying it. It seems like it has the fighting and the action of a Dragon Ball Z, but then the storytelling of a really good comic book.
Yeah, you know what?
It's like good
I see it now.
marriage.
I see it now.
Yo, and you're right, because actually even to like the Saiyans, right, in Dragon Ball Z, it's more close to Invincible than Superman, that they are conquerors, right? They're sent to conquer worlds, and that kind of stuff, and so that relates more to this because obviously he was Omni-Man wasn't sent as a kid like Goku, but he was escaping the destruction, I think, if I remember correctly, of like. No, he wasn't escaping because the world, his world got destroyed later once Vegeta was older, right, by Frieza.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not talking about Dragon Ball Z. But
Before you get into the fucking
Another upcoming episode idea, by the way.
Oh yeah, word. Yeah.
Exactly.
We definitely have.
To we
that.
must. Right, because in this one we know that Omni-Man, his culture is about conquering fucking worlds and galaxies, and
they're immortal almost, which is crazy.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. I love the line when he says that he, as he gets older, he ages slower. I'm like, damn.
What? Like, what the fuck?
Yo, but I love, so in that moment, Omni-Man Mark finds out, like, what the fuck's going on, beats the shit out of his dad, trying to be like, snap out of it, you're being probably controlled or something, right? And then he's like, no, it's not, and they get into it. Yo, in that moment he's trying to explain like how he feels about life on Earth and shit, and asking about like, but you loved mom, and he's like, yeah, I love mom, kind of like a pet.
Yeah, the line of the year, like for any show that we have watched or are gonna watch for the rest of this year, J.K. Simmons, you're the man.
Rob, yo, he needs to win an award for this, for sure.
Yeah, the rage in his voice, because spoiler alert, like Omni-Man mercilessly beats Mark. Like wow, like you know, and yeah, they are able to do crazy shit with the animation. And he just just beats him into submission.
Yeah, on Everest. Like, what the fuck? Like,
He's trying to convince him.
You compare that shit to live action. Like,
well, on Everest at the end, right? But he's beating him up all throughout, right? Like
The
we go
world
to fucking
and
the
shit.
soul. He ends beating his shit in Everest. It's like that because I think that's a difference, right? With these other shows, or what's a special thing about Invincible? Because the emotional gravitas of it, like you feel it, no? You feel the pain of all the family, the Guardians of the Globe, the world discovering that what Omni-Man's not who he's supposed to be. Like, fuck.
yeah, and like it just makes you fucking wonder. Like, I can, like, even in like my craziest speculations, that's just Omni-Man, who's not even like the head of the Viltrumites. He's a general amongst generals. There's battalions of Omni-Man. Like, what the fuck? That's even beyond the Saiyans. That's like saying, hey, there's an army of dudes like Superman. That doesn't even make sense.
Yep. And at the end, he kind of justifies that he is like Omni-Man. Like he is there to make sure that Earth is secure for the Viltrumites. Like he is the defender of Earth in a sense. Just that he doesn't give a fuck about it, like a child with like a fishbowl, right? They don't like the fishes die. Yes. They don't care, but they are the,
If you think about it, there's low key like a kind of a small comparison between Omni-Man and Ra's al Ghul, like in their sentiments. Like fuck humans, like it's all about the planet.
Yo, a little bit. And like what I love about that too is also like how the lengths Omni-Man goes to teach Mark, right? He's wrong, right? Because obviously the whole point of the episode is that he's telling him, look, we're supposed to bring quote unquote peace and advancement, technology and shit that to this Earth.
Fuck.
You guys go.
Damn, yo,
Damn.
he's getting
COVID is taking one of our own.
Damn.
Nah, I'm vaccinated, motherfuckers. I'm good. Whatever. No, but it's like we're saying that, but he's like, he wants to convince Mark, like, we gotta help me to save the Earth, that you have to submit to the Viltrumites or we have to kill them, right?
Yeah.
And then to teach him, right, that like, Earth, human life means nothing. It's especially with the lifespan that they have, is like he goes to extreme lengths, right, to show that by basically destroying Chicago. And then guys, fucking that scene when he takes him down into the subway fucking system, right? And then just fucking tells him like, look, when are you gonna stop? I gotta show you these lives don't mean shit. And then he fucking rams him. Well, not rams him. He holds him still as the fucking train just goes through them. Fuck.
Dude, yo, for me, in that whole episode, the craziest death happened so quick and it was so meaningless. The dude that he just picks up off the ground, like you see these people, they don't mean shit. Squish, and he just crushes his head. I was like, oh, that is the quickest, most trivial I've ever seen. Like, look, he doesn't mean anything, bro. It just squashed his head in Mark's face. Yo, that shit, that was crazy. Like, I can't get over that. I peed a little when I saw that.
And that was the pilot. No, that was the pilot that Mark saved, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
On top of that, exactly. Like fucking, we have this fucking fucking military planes coming at him, right? Omni-Man is just swatting at them as flies. And Mark tries to save one. Saves one. He's like, "Thank you, man, for saving my life," and straight up just crushes his head in front of him.
Just at least it was quick and painless. For the most part.
Nah, man.
Nah, but you die in less than a second, though.
Yo, you don't know that.
No.
Nah, yeah, no, you do. You know, no. At that point, that's quick as fuck.
You're not that kind of doctor.
Just the brain. The brain just has like a fucking.
I study the brain. I'm the best kind of doctor for this. Yes, that's the best.
Outside of the body, the brain cannot function.
No, exactly. That's it. That's how
Like-
you feel things. If that's gone, then you don't feel anything.
But yo, that one death, fucking yo, like I'm not easily phased. That shit hit something dark, you know, like
Yo.
fuck, man.
And that's, I think, what I love about that episode and the whole show, right? That you do feel that, right? You really feel Mark's pain. Oh my God. And when we mentioned that scene when he mentions that, you know, the mom's a pet, right? And even later on mentioning about like, you know, is my mom's life worthless to you then because of what he's saying about human life is so fragile and short compared to ours. And he's like, yeah, you know, because also for the fans out there, obviously, as all of this is happening, Cecil, who's like the man, you know, the CIA dude, has his mom there. And she's hearing it all, right? And it fucking like she fucking bends over fucking in pain when she's hearing the man of his, you know, the love of his life, of her life, the father of his child, just all of a sudden being like, you know, I don't give a fuck about any of these people. My wife's basically a pet. Her life's meaningless in the scheme of things. And then the Guardians of the Globe are hearing all of this. Is like, what? Like, I believe it, right? Even if it's animation, I believe
that. What's the highest award for TV shows? The Emmys or some shit?
Emmys,
J.K. Simmons, Emmy, Best Actor in a Drama.
Fuck the Emmys. Our approval. Fuck that.
Snobs in Hollywood.
Exactly. And all right, so guys, I posed to you the question from earlier. Rod didn't think about it. He just fucking, he had his reasons. Amanda Waller or Cecil in your government.
All right. But can I say this, though? I want my choice to be brought to you by Miguel's Drink of the Week.
Go for it.
That's right. All right. Before we get into this, our drink of the week today will be a drink we've had before. We got Basil Hayden's right now. Wonderful. The dark rye Basil Hayden. That's the best one. And specifically, this is out for you, Basil Hayden's. We've shown a drink of the week with you before, and you've seen us. You've seen us share your post and the story. Because we see Instagram shows you when you've seen. So you're seeing it right now, probably again on Instagram, and you didn't like it. You didn't repost it. What's good, man? What's good? You know, if you don't want to give me a bottle, you don't have to. It's all good. But we love you. This is fucking good. So Basil Hayden's, this is how we're gonna discover who's better, Cecil or Amanda Waller.
We're gonna get the exact opposite of whatever a sponsorship is.
I want to know who
They're gonna ban
Basil
us.
Hayden's would choose between Cecil and Amanda Waller. Now, Ches,
Yes.
earlier I jumped with my response, but upon further thought, I may have been hasty.
That's a good
Because
question.
we've only seen one season of Cecil,
Mm.
right? So we've only, I mean, I feel like he's somewhat like altruistic, like a Nick Fury, but again,
Yeah.
it's only been one season. Whereas with Amanda Waller, we've had, you know, fucking at least 2 live action versions, several animated movies, Justice League Unlimited. She's been everywhere. Like we've seen her. Yeah. Oh my God. I shared a review on the Instagram. I rewatched that one. It's a gem on HBO Max. Highly recommended. It's what should have happened with the DCEU, but unfortunately, people stay fucking shit up. Like
Humans
oh
gonna
my
human.
God. Like, except for Zack
Mr.
Snyder, he had a good fucking.
Mm.
He had the ingredients for an epic universe. But yeah, I'm still gonna go with Cecil. Because Amanda Waller, at least with her, she's willing to take the Suicide Squad and those resources for strictly personal gain. Like in Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, when she's like, she wants to get out of like Hell Free card because she
literally wants. That's literally what she's after. It's a get out of jail free card.
What?
Also,
I have to rewatch this. I don't think I ever saw that.
Yeah,
So, again, if you see Assault on Arkham first and you love it, which I'm sure you will,
Loved it.
right
Loved it.
after it, if you want to follow up, which is not an actual sequel, but you could take it as such, you know, unless you're nitpickers like us.
I think it's a direct sequel.
It's not. I mean, yeah, because the Assault on Arkham exists in the Arkham verse of video games.
Don't kill my dream.
Okay, whatever. So yes, I'm taking Cecil.
Damn. All right. You know what? Damn, son. Just for what you said, just because we don't have only one season of Cecil, and these characters are so fucking layered. By the way, I didn't include the ultimate that is Nick Fury because he's basically a superhero at the end of the day. So the other two are way more questionable. I'll take Amanda Waller, yo. I want her to have access to my tax dollars. I'll take Amanda Waller over Cecil. What about you, Miguel?
Shit. That's a very good question. I don't know. Also, because, like, for example, I don't want to spoil nothing.
Exactly.
Right?
You've read shit.
I read shit.
And he
I read
knows
shit.
shit.
Rod made some good comments earlier about Cecil. So I'm like, all right, we gotta keep.
Damn, yeah.
Like, I don't know. And also because even people like Amanda Waller and Nick Fury, they're not perfect. Cecil's not perfect. Because I do want to say, because without a spoiler, like I think for the episode, we do see, especially at the end, that Cecil's working with that crazy madman that had the thing about creating super cyborg type human, and he's making like an army of them, right? So obviously Cecil doesn't give a fuck that it hurt one of Mark's friends and that kind of stuff. So but I will say I really like that line, I think in this specific episode, or was the one from before, where Cecil was like, you gotta do what you gotta do in my position. He's like, I don't like it, but fucking right. And so I trust him. So I think because of that, I would go Cecil, because I don't know, Amanda Waller, I don't really know exactly if her intentions are really just for the safety of the world versus or like the US or herself, right? And Cecil, at least Cecil from the show seems to be more like, he's in the book too. Like he's more like, I do think like more like of a Nick Fury type, because Nick Fury was more about like really doing what's good for the world, even if it means fucking up people, right?
Yeah, and also it seemed like Damien Darkblood was at least not scared of Omni-Man, and then Cecil sent him back to hell and shit, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, it seemed like that could have been one of your only defenses against Omni-Man. So,
Very true.
I feel that there might be something to that.
Well, I'll take Amanda Waller simply based on one principle, because if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have had Terry McGinnis. She inserted that the future had a Batman.
Oh, damn.
That goes to show right there, because
yo,
and mind you, because even I think like the prologue of all of Batman Beyond, she was like, yo, if I ever did like one thing for fucking humanity, it was to fucking ensure that Batman remained. Boom.
That's a mic drop.
Solid reasoning right there, bro. Props, man, to fucking that. All right, but just to wrap up our review of fucking Invincible, right? Because then this is all this epic shit that's fucking going on right now. And then at the end, right? So Omni-Man's fucking beating the shit out of Mark, right? Trying to have him understand. He's killed thousands of people to prove a point, right?
Word.
And then at the end, he's finally like, what? It was, as you said, it was Mount Everest? That's where it's happening?
Yeah. I mean, the way I see it, every time they're in like that area that's like super like OD high up and it's snowing, is a mountain, like they're what's it called, the mountain range for Everest is that? It's in Nepal or some shit like that.
I think the Himalayas.
The Himalayas, whatever the fuck. Yeah, but in my head they're always on Everest, because why not? They're the most powerful people on earth. Why not be on Everest? Like,
and actually, I think in the comic book, I think it actually is the Himalayas, and it is Everest. You're right, and so he's beating him fucking senseless, right? It's mad gory. His fucking chin's fucking open. He's fucking Invincible's not invincible at all, right? Yo, and that, like, because he's trying to fucking, there's been memes of this, right? He's like, think, Mark, like, what's there for you after all this? Like, you're gonna outlive all of them. The world's gonna die. Everybody you know is gonna be dead. What's gonna be left for you in 500, 1,000 years from now, right? And Mark fucking gives him the line of like, well, you, Dad, like, I'll have you. And then that fucking does it. Like, for Omni-Man, just the fucking, his heart, like fucking shit.
Word. Which is fucking bananas, because the whole time I was thinking when he was beating the shit out of him, basically Omni-Man, he turned himself into like a human piston power driver and shit on his son's face. It was like, how is he not dead? Like, it spoke volumes about how invincible actually is. Like, holy shit. Was it that he was holding back, or was it that he's just that tough?
wonder if he comes back stronger, like the Saiyans.
Oh, back to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, wait,
Yeah,
now
like-
Miguel would know. Is that a thing with? You could spoil that.
No,
With the Viltrumites, like,
no,
they-
not,
No, they
not
don't?
that I
Okay.
know, not that I
Okay,
know.
okay.
What I'm thinking is like, remember at the beginning, the ass whooping all throughout was just an ass whooping, right? He's teaching him a lesson. He's trying to make him understand. It wasn't until at Everest that he's like, "I'm going to kill you." So
Oh,
I
okay,
do
okay,
think
okay.
Omni-Man was holding back all the time, right? Just kind of like. He's basically just like it's the Latino version, of like hitting him with a fucking chancla and fucking like a belt and shit. No, it's like, and then at that point, that's when he was like, "I'm going to have to kill you." Because when he says, "What's another 17 years? I'm gonna have another kid. I don't give a fuck," right?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. That's when he's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and that's when he has like an about face. When he has the
Jesus.
memory
Yeah.
of him being a like baseball player as a little kid and stuff like in Pee Wee and whatever, and it's like.
Yeah, I loved how jacked they make him.
Omni-Man, word.
Yo, he's just super yoked.
Fuck
Oh.
yeah, like he's like the ultimate like dad dude. He looks like the brawny man, but bigger. Like, fuck.
When Mark's friend is realizes that Mark is invincible, he's like, "Oh, your dad is Omni-Man." Like, obviously, this
fuck
probably
yeah.
a huge muscular dude.
Yeah.
But then, so when he realizes that brief, like sheer moment of joy when his son hits the ball and runs and whatever, then he leaves. Where the fuck did he go? Like, that's crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do, you bastard.
Yes, I fucking
yeah,
do.
you
He went to the
fucking
moon
asshole.
to chill and build like a
Yeah.
fucking citadel of glass.
Well,
No,
not to
because
the-
then,
yeah, huh?
yeah, because then Mark would have found him there when he went to the moon.
Yeah, because then obviously the episode
That's a
ends. And,
Watchmen.
oh,
reference.
word, right? Like, yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, because in the episode, then obviously finally ends. He leaves, and Mark's rescued by Cecil and his crew. He's healed and whatnot, and then he's asked to be basically Omni-Man's replacement, right, to protect the Earth. And we see Alan, the alien, voiced by Seth Rogen himself, who's a producer of the show. So kudos to him. To try to warn them, right? Like, fuck, there's a Viltrumite in your fucking world. And then he's like, "Mark, let's sit on the moon. I gotta tell you some shit, bro." Right? And then he tells him everything, right? So it's like, oh fuck. And that's when he realizes that, oh, this is part of a bigger picture. The Viltrumite's a big problem all over the fucking galaxy.
All over the universe, I think, as a matter of fact. There's some shit like that, isn't it? Like,
yes, exactly. And so that's where we get that scene at the end with Alan to figuring out fucking dog, man. Shit. You guys can hear this. Anyway, so that's how the fucking show finally ends, and seeing Invincible taking the reins of like, all right, I'll protect Earth and see what he can do against his dad. Where did he get his dad go? We don't know. But one of the things I love about the end the most is like when Alan asks him like, "What are you gonna do for now?" And he ends up saying, "Well, just finish high school." But we see the scene of all these unfinished stories, right? Of like, where do all these things go, man?
And the one that caught me, because I wanted to really talk about this character real quick. Well, not really talk about it because I didn't give anything about him, but I just wanted to bring him up. The cat, big white lion dude that beat the shit out of Invincible. I learned, I think, on Instagram that his name is like Battle Cat or some shit like that. Like, that dude just disappeared. How does a fucking character that can defeat a Viltrumite just disappear? And then he's out there just being a cat man.
So I will say this, like, not gonna spoil anything, but that's what I'll say about what I love about Robert Kirkman. He's a fantastic writer, and Invincible is an incredible book. Is like, that's what I love about. He showed that at the end of this episode, right? Because we say Titan, right, which is voiced by Mahershala Ali, who's going to be Blade. We talked about Blade earlier in the MCU, right? And we see all these different characters. The guy with the fucking Quake fucking gauntlets that falls. We see all these unended stories. He's very meticulous. Every character you come across in Invincible is a story. Everybody, because we even saw with Cecil, right? He's still working with the guy who's making the cyborg kind of people. Everybody, he might not be the main story of the book, but he's a fucking story,
Fair enough.
And this season was wonderful to just introducing us to a lot of these characters, right? Even like things like Robot, right? Because I think that's the big thing that's surprising about it. It's such a good show where, for example, this is one season, right? We got, how many episodes was this season?
9, I believe, wasn't it?
9. All right. So 9 episodes, right? But in the comic books, you had to read 12 books to get to this point where Omni-Man reveals himself, right? And so even the stuff with Robot, that he actually is Rudy, a kid, or not a kid, he's like this fucking weird, like gross little fetus thing, right? And then he clones himself to become like Rexplode and what?
Like that, like the bad guy from Green Lantern, something Hammond.
Yes, exactly. What's his name in the book?
Hector Hammond, isn't it? Some shit like that.
Exactly. Like that kind of stuff actually happens a little bit later in the stories or some other way, and so they crammed a lot of stuff in one season, kind of pretty fast, you know, because even when the Guardians of the Globe get killed, they get killed a little bit later on, not in the first episode. It's the first episode of the show starts with that. But I love it. I think they're making it work. And there's a lot of fucking stories to tell, man. Just fucking loved it, man. It's better than The Boys. It's better than Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and
yeah. So far, it's the best show.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. And I clearly just envisioned Seth Rogen watching a show he produced on IMAX in his own theater, smoking hella weed. That's crazy. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. And you know what, man? Invincible's better than real life right now. Fuck. And on that note, I'm gonna go rewatch that shit from scratch and binge it. I don't give a fuck. Reckless. Fans, we love you guys. Always, forever. Bros, love you. Pleasure, honor. We are the Legion. This is Chez.
It's Miguel. Peace.
That's right. Peace out.
Deuces.